But my biggest concern is that I hope that we're not seeing a rerun of a film. Like, we don't have to look at another group of kids running for their lives trying to figure it out. I don't want to see that rehashed so soon after just watching something of that nature. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Whole Views, and today we are going to be talking about Fear Street Part 1, right? This is the review, the breakdown, and the predictions for what we're going to be getting in that second movie coming soon. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. Help me to keep growing, help me to keep reaching my goals, man. We're doing real big things, and I'm glad you're here for the ride. I really enjoyed Fear Street Part 1. Getting into the things that I liked, I really felt throughout the film that they really brought back or helped to breathe life into the slasher genre of films. Like, as I watched, I could really kind of reminisce on like the OG horror stuff that we got back in the 90s, like Freddy, Jason, Chucky, the older Michael Myers, not the Rob Zombie stuff, but you know, the older stuff from the 80s and 90s. It felt reminiscent to all of that stuff, which was very, very good. It was cool to see just a bunch of kids running for their lives trying to figure things out. Honestly, the opening credits really got me hyped because I got to see rated R. I was glad that they went R for this, that they didn't choose to go the kiddie Goosebumps route, because we know this is R.L. Stine coming from a book. I thought they would do the kiddie thing, but they went real adult. Now, I must say, I didn't care for the use of language. I feel like, you know, just dirty language was overused a little bit. But the brutality of the movie really shined in everything that it showed. And that's, I think, due to that R rating. And that's what I wanted to see. Some no holds barred type stuff. When I think about the brutality, I think specifically to the montage of things that was like went on in the town, and they went back through a series of killers, and I was like, man, some of this stuff is pretty rough to see. But it was good that they were able to go all the way with it, no stops, you know, no pulling, no punches. And another thing that I really like is the connection and the way it kind of the end of this movie led into the second, and we're gonna see a continuation of the story. Really learning about that one woman who survived, who is, you know, basically going to be the star in the flashback movie that we're going to look at in part 2 with the 1978 story. I liked the way that the two stories were connected, kind of one leading into the other. I like the way that they kind of gave you a trailer, like a preview for the next one. But my biggest concern is that I hope that we're not seeing a rerun of a film. Like, we don't have to look at another group of kids running for their lives trying to figure it out. I don't want to see that rehashed so soon after just watching something of that nature. I think there's potential for that to happen, but there has to be some type of connection. It doesn't seem as if we're going to get a sole 1978 story. It seems like we're going to get the lead in that we saw in the first film, like at the end, and then you're going to see that 1978 story play out, but then there's going to be some type of revelation or connection that gets made back in the 90s, and it's probably going to, again, leapfrog way back to 1666, and then we'll get the third. Now, for the criticism, I wouldn't say that it's a negative for me, because I understand, I feel like what they were going for, but this movie did come across as slightly campy, like just kind of cheesy a little bit. I think that had to be done to kind of embody the 1990s that they were trying to go for, and I really feel like they hit it. Another thing that, again, not a negative for me, but I think it could miss people, or you know, the audience that may be going for. I feel like the movie was made to appeal to the younger audiences, but I also feel that the younger audiences won't connect with the soundtrack of this film unless they're like music heads, because I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with a whole lot of MTV, a whole lot of BET, a lot of music videos being played, and I listen to pretty much every genre. So as I'm watching this film, I'm you know, being brought back by the different songs that's coming up. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how that's going to hit for others. I'm 36. I don't know how that's going to hit, you know, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old. Like, they may not connect with the music from that era. And again, that's not a bad thing to me. I feel like the soundtrack was really good. It really felt like, 1990s MTV. Whole lot of grunge, whole lot of rock, good bit of metal in there. And it's like, it just sounded like it did in the 90s. The only part of the movie that I would like to see changed or maybe like taken out of part one was the sexual stuff. Like, they had a moment there where I was like, man, I hope we don't do full sex scenes for everybody here. And just going there with high schoolers, and I know not everyone looked like high schoolers. Some of these people, you could kind of tell, like, yeah, they probably like 19, 20, 21-ish. But some of them did look like kids. And for those people, I was like, man, I really don't want to see your little body being on display here. It's cool to have a relationship. Don't care about the status of that relationship. But man, it's rough to see y'all do acts. Let's not put that on there. I know there's going to be a good bit of that in the 1978, the part 2. And the thing about it for that one is I feel like it almost gets a pass, because that just being at a camp and having a slasher going after teens, it's like, this is Friday the 13th, like, vibes. And there was tons of sex in those movies. Also, though, those kids were clearly not kids. I was glad that they didn't show anything. I'm glad they didn't use the R rating for nudity. I was proud of the young man. Like, yo, good job that you're actually getting the girl, but like, please don't show him doing anything with her, and like, please don't do anything in this nasty, disgusting bathroom that y'all in. Like, let's avoid that at all costs. So that's my only few criticisms of the movie. I enjoyed it. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Again, scales and rubrics, everybody. Like, it's not this masterpiece of a filmmaking, but it was fun. It has a high entertainment value, and I'm actually set to go watch it again. So I'm gonna go do that. Y'all go find something good to watch. Enjoy yourself. Guard your heart. Come back and check out more videos.